Hello, my name is Nic Snowberger, your worthy Grand Master of Ceremonies. Welcome back to another edition of the Second to None podcast. Have a great crew with me here today. We're going to be talking about some really great topics, totally centered around Champion Quest and Rush. But before we dive into that, let me introduce my fellow brothers here. I'll start off on my far right. Brother Leo, why don't you start, and then we'll go from right to left and tell us who you are and what you do.
Will do, Brother Snowberger. Leo Brown, Senior Vice President and Chief Recruitment Officer for Kappa Sigma Headquarters and an initiate of the Theta Theta chapter at Western Kentucky University.
Fantastic. My name is Noah Griffin. I'm an initiate and founding father of the Omicron chapter at Emory and Henry University in Virginia. I was an ARM for a few years, DGM, and now the Colony Development Commissioner.
Great. Nice to meet you guys. My name is Walker May. I'm a 2015 Fall Initiate of the Lambda Epsilon chapter at the University of Central Florida. Currently serve as the Champion Quest Commissioner, and same as Noah, served as an ARM right out of college.
I guess I should say I served as an ARM too. Way back when.
ARMs, man. Area Recruitment Manager is one of the secret sauces to the incredible energy and results we get around Champion Quest. Champion Quest, the lifeblood of our fraternity, as most people call it. We turn our vision away from Champion Quest and Rush, and we will quickly lose our place as number one. We will lose our competitive advantage. It's easily one of the most important things that we do. And when I really look inside myself, beyond what I just shared, why is it the most important thing that we do? I find the answer being because I had such an incredible undergraduate experience, but also being a part of Kappa Sigma changed my life. It gave me the tools, the resources, the experiences that lead to a lot of the success I have in my life today, both in my career and my family. And so I want other people to experience that. I want as many young men that deserve to wear our badge to have that same opportunity. And so it's incumbent upon us as Kappa Sigmas to go out there and recruit and to grow our order for all the reasons just listed. But however those facts may be important, we are all faced with different challenges at different colleges and universities across North America. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is continuous open bidding, as well as what we can do when Rush ends to help prepare ourselves for the next Champion Quest season, what we can do in the off season to prepare and to sort of set the table to give us the best chances for success in the future. So before we dive into that, though, I want to pass it to Brother Brown. Talk to me about continuous open bidding, what it means and why it's important.
Sure. I mean, I think it's had many names, as these guys can recall from training as ARMs. I mean, we've called, mid-semester rush, continuous open rush, COB. We can call it a million different things. I think what it comes down to is it's chapters that are smart and have a plan, have sort of an expectation that Rush won't just be the 1 week or the 10 days or whatever the defined definition is on their campus. It's something that they're going to continue and ensure that they're sort of making sure everybody on their campus has an opportunity to see what Kappa Sigma offers. That's really the design of COB, is there's only going to be a fractional amount of people that sign up for Rush that know, oh, I'm supposed to go to this event and then sign this form and pay this fee. You're only going to get 10% of campus that sees that opportunity. And so it's going beyond just that 10% and finding undergraduates on your campus that didn't know Rush was for them, didn't know they could afford it, didn't know there was a sign up, and really making sure that you're extending the gift of Kappa Sigma, or really just the opportunity for Greek life first, then Kappa Sigma, to everybody on your campus. And so I think great chapters have it as part of their plan, and it's something that's ingrained in sort of their culture. And so now they don't probably even call it continuous open bidding. It's just how we are successful.
It's a culture. It's
the success of their recruitment, right? It's just built into the plan. I think for chapters that struggle with it, it's just understanding that it's not something that's a tax or something that you have to build yourself up to. It's just knowing you're going to do it and then executing on that plan however you see fit on your campus. And I think we can talk through the ways we package it to different chapters in terms of selling it, because you could hear pledge recruits at pledge there. You could you can look at it as a second rush week. Like I said, that mid-semester rush week was popular when I was an undergraduate. Taking a class sort of in week 6 or week 7 of your pledge education programming, and that was a way to do it. But I think it's morphed and changed a lot. And I think because of successful chapters, really having that COB process in an effort to continue to always build their chapter and always have numbers coming in the door.
Yeah, and I think what's really important too is that if you're not growing, you're dying. And so I think this is part of the culture that these chapters have put in place that are successful with it. Is it's just a part of their recruitment plan, and they always know that beyond formal rush or whatever it's called on their campus, they're going to go add 3, 4, 5, 10 more guys. And it's twofold. It's these guys that are getting the opportunity, like we talked about a few minutes ago, Brother Snowberger, that may have not gotten it already, right? They're not the hand raisers. They're not signing up for formal recruitment. And some of these guys end up being your best brothers, ultimately, which is really cool. And so you just never know who's going to be the next GM, the next GP, the next GMC and rush chair on your campus. And so going out and taking advantage of that opportunity and rushing these guys a couple weeks after was really awesome. And then the second full piece of that is preparing your current pledge class for fall rush, which for most chapters is the bigger rush. And so I like to package it up like, hey, this is practice for the most important portion of the year, which is your August, September, and October
I
rush,
love that
which
part.
is so big.
I love that part. To touch base on the first point you made, I love the fact that it's creating a culture and almost a mindset around recruitment. You don't know if you close down your rush at the end of the formal rush period, and then you turn your eyes off of recruitment for the rest of the semester. You don't know if you're going to cross paths with the next potential GM, the next potential guy that's going to be dynamic in your chapter to take it to the next level, drive results in AGC, or be a huge impact maker in BIA. We have no idea if we're not always out there looking for people that can make Kappa Sigma better and can benefit from Kappa Sigma. And then the second point you just made is one I hadn't even considered before, which is amazing. And it's the fact that you're getting guys that were just initiated the opportunity to sort of wet their beak a little bit, test the waters, get some of the nervous interactions out of the way, so that when it really matters, like fall is when we hit it hard. That's when we get the big numbers. That's like when all the freshmen come in, and we're not just limiting it to freshmen, by the way. Man, we've got a little bit of experience under our belts.
Yeah, I think to build on that point, when our pledges go through the pledge process and they learn everything about our fraternity, I think it's a second mindset of we don't even teach them about recruitment. We teach them about the history, we teach them about our ritual, all of that, and then we wait until that fall semester to hope that they understand recruitment and can help out and are built in. But when you get the chance to teach them something new about the fraternity and that becoming Champion Quest and getting involved out there, it's a great way to, one, again, like we've discussed, bring in new people throughout the semester that we continue to open up that invitation for. But also it's your chance to see which members of that pledge class really have that kind of, that in it, something you can't put a definition on. They have that ability.
Just drive.
Exactly. They have that ability to recruit. So that way when you're going into fall, one, they already have practice, and you as a leader in your chapter understand, I know John, Bill are going to be my top two assistant recruitment chairs when it comes to fall recruitment. So I think there's so many positives that come from it, and when we're limiting ourselves to those 2 formal weeks of recruitment, because those are the guys that know, like Brother Brown was saying, that know about fraternities, sign up, do all the right things. When we're limiting it to just those guys, we're missing out on the 70% of the students on campus that don't even think about that potential opportunity and are really involved on campus and every other group throughout the campus. So that's a big missed opportunity that I think a lot of chapters are now starting to take advantage of because they see the benefits of it long term.
100%. And I know for a fact that when I went to Eastern New Mexico University, I was not planning on joining a fraternity. If it was Theta Zeta's job to only recruit the people that showed interest or showed up for formal rush, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair today. Thank God they had the initiative and the work ethic to go out and find the guys on campus that didn't know they wanted to be in a fraternity until they got asked. And so I love that point. So let me ask you guys a question here. I personally believe that every chapter of Kappa Sigma across North America has a viable reason to consider continuous open bidding, second, mid-semester rushes, all those things. But let me ask you guys, on the most opportunistic side, what is the type of chapter that should consider this the most? What is this tailored for? What chapter should really be looking at this podcast and saying, this is the tool we need to help us get through or break through some of the barriers or the hurdles that are haunting us semester after semester.
Yep, I'll jump in on where these chapters that are trying to find that next gear on their campus. Maybe it's competing with other fraternities on their campus, or really the Greek culture at the school isn't really there yet to where they're not getting a lot of guys to show up on their own accord to rush. When they're struggling in that initial part, the chapters that should be considering it the most and will find the most success up from it are the ones that need to go out there and find the other students and the other men on their campus that are choosing other student clubs and organizations rather than fraternities just because they're not educated on what we offer. So it's our job to go out and get them. So those groups that are either not competing as well as they want to or should be on their campus with other fraternities, or the ones to where they haven't realized that opportunity on their campus. They're not hitting their rush goals. They're behind when it comes to filling out all their chair positions on campus. When you feel like you're doing too much work because you don't have enough guys to help out, those are the groups that need to consider it the most. And really, they're going to see the quickest impact with it too. Because when you bring in 5 to 10 new guys that want to be involved and want to take part, that gives every single person in that chapter the opportunity to select what they want to be a part of and what they have a passion for, and really lighten the load across the board. So that's who I would say would be the first ones to go out there and get it.
Yeah, and I think speaking from experience in Omicron at Emory and Henry, these schools, these chapters that are at small schools, so not necessarily small chapters, but chapters that are at small schools, is a huge opportunity. Every individual guy that y'all add on, whether it's during formal rush or after rush, is so crucial. Omicron specifically has rushed very well the last few years, and they're still coming back with below 35 members. Not only because it's a D2 school, the majority of our guys are on baseball or football rosters, they're transferring because of the portal. Like, these are real things and real factors. So we have to get creative with what our pipelines look like compared to the bigger schools. And so every individual guy we add on is really crucial. So I think what's most important is these chapters that are at small schools. Some of them are very healthy, but adding on each individual guy can be huge because you just never know. You have guys graduating, portal, transfer, dropout, whatever it may be. There's just turnover in your roster, and so every opportunity you can take is gigantic.
Well, now that you mentioned it, sorry to cut in, the importance for small schools, that's huge. I got to make a case for the big schools as well. Going to UCF.
One of the biggest schools.
Yeah. The idea that we have enough guys coming out to rush is widespread across these big schools too. So I see the same impact, but in a different way, to where we're gonna accept these guys that are coming out because there's enough of them. It seems like enough, but we're still missing out on. And similar to your point, these student athletes, these students in other clubs, where they're not going to come out to us first, mainly because they're busy during that time, or the students that are really focused on their academics, they're starting the semester strong, they're not going to come out at first, and we have this perceived notion that, well, we did really good with the people who showed up. It's like, that's great, we competed and did well there, but now we're going to be the fraternity that goes out and finds these other high quality students that are involved in campus with really, in terms of an end goal of where we want to look back and see our fellow chapter brothers. We want to be a diverse group that's involved in a lot of different things, a lot of different industries. So same case in point as small schools, it's the big schools who I think get distracted by that perceived notion that, oh, enough guys showed up, we're good to go. It's like there's even more guys, like we talked about, that 70% of students that don't come out. Those are the ones that are out there that we can go get to. So just to build on that point.
I mean, the real simple answer is it's kind of for everybody. I mean, we're a really good example of that, where
it is.
56,000 students, 4,000 students,
1,100,
excuse me, 17,000. So like we represent kind of a good subset of the whole organization, and I think it's just the mechanics of how you do it, right? Is it doing an extra week? Is it doing something mid-semester or a couple of pledge classes a year? And I think the other side of this is far too often chapters think we're asking for them to like duplicate the success of a fall pledge class, when really what we're talking about is 5, 6, maybe even like 1 or 2 extra guys that you bring in. If you do that 2 times a year, even 3 times a year, that's going to produce dividends for your chapter, and you're going to give yourself a better opportunity for great leaders. So we're not asking you to get 20 guys again. We're talking about going and building on and adding a certain percentage onto your pledge class each time. And I think that's something where chapters
like a recruitment kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Like, if football teams only limited themselves to the draft, you can imagine. But they are always keeping their eyes out for talent. Absolutely. And so what you just said lends itself to the fact that, when we hear this common phrase being given to us by chapters, well, you know what? We're quality over quantity. This lends itself to that almost more than anything. Because if you're really after quality, the best quality men on your campus, then you should be looking for them continuously, because you're not going to find them all in the first 1 to 3 weeks of the semester when everyone's super busy. Question for you, Brother Brown. I'm an EC member at my chapter, and we want to do a COB, a mid-semester rush, but IFC is saying that we can't. How do we overcome that? What are some options?
Well, I think you got to ask the question of what's in their bylaws and make sure they're totally being honest, first of all. And the only schools that we typically would see something where there is a restriction are private schools. But even those schools, you can have a conversation. I think it's all about talking about what you're looking for in your end result to be. And so, if you're a chapter that is, like Brother May said, maybe not as successful, you're not reaching your goals. If you have a conversation with your Greek advisor about, hey, we need to, we're behind on this many positions, or we're behind on finances. Here's the reason why we're doing this. That conversation will usually lend itself to a situation where you're going to have an opportunity to do something. So I wouldn't be gatekeeped by whatever you're initially told, because I think everything's a conversation. But many of our partners have 365 recruitment, or at least they espouse to it, or they'll talk about it and say they have it. And so I think you have to just challenge and say that this is always an opportunity. And at a public school, it should be wide open. It's a free country. You have the right to freely associate. There may be like mechanics to it, like you got to get grade checks, or you have to tell them and declare you're doing it. But typically universities just want to ensure they know when you're taking a pledge class, so they know when they need to get initiated. So as long as you over communicate those things, you really shouldn't run into a problem. And if you do, we can be here to help you and guide you and coach you on it, because again, most student administrators want what's best for their students and for their organizations. And so they just need to know what the why is, and they'll kind of facilitate how that looks and what it might look like on your campus.
I love the point to the wealth of resources available to our undergraduates and our ECs, both on the SEC.
Volunteers.
We have commissioners
EGMs
here on this podcast right here that can help, and we have a HQ staff that know how to deal with university officials and Greek advisors and all the types of people that we may need to discuss those reasonings with to open up that door for us. But continuous rush, 360 rush, that mindset is so vital. We want to break through where we've been for a while now with recruitment. We're really looking to change the future for Kappa Sigma in major ways. And one of those things that we can do is start planning for our fall rushes a lot better. And what I'm alluding to is some things that we could do in the off season. A lot of times we'll leave on a high at the end of the spring semester. We just finished the year. We had our banquet. Everyone's like taking a big breath because we got done with our finals. We usually head on home. We go on vacations with our families, or we take on summer internships or jobs or whatever, and we take our eyes off the ball for 3 months before we start going back to school again. And we come back. Hopefully you're going to an officer retreat where you're having a good rush workshop, building a great plan, but then you dive right into rush. And you kind of look up and you're okay, what do we got to work with? But there are things that we can do during the summer, maybe when we have some time away from work, or we're not on vacation, or we're not just rotting on the couch, that can help us prepare for that fall rush to really maximize the opportunity. And I love this mindset, because every extra guy that we can pledge during the rush is one less guy that the competition can get. But what are some of those things that we can do during the summer?
Yeah, I had a Zoom, so this is perfect timing. I had a Zoom with an undergrad 2 days ago, and he was talking about that they did a study themselves on the prospects that they reach out to over the summer. And they found that 80 to 90% of the time, if you were the first fraternity to reach out and meet someone on that campus, that they were going to join that fraternity.
80 to 90%.
80 to 90.
Those statistics are huge, man.
And I think it's because once we get in it, we love our fraternity. And every undergrad loves their fraternity, but we don't I think sometimes we forget when coming into college that a lot of these new incoming freshmen, or like you said, anyone that's looking to join a fraternity, that they're not as informed. They don't know we have the world's largest alumni network when it comes to college social fraternities. They don't know about Conclave and Leadership Conference. So we just assume, well, they'll know we're the best, so they should join us just by competing with other fraternities. But when it comes down to it, and Rush in general, it's just making a friend. And when you're the first person that reaches out, takes them to lunch, shows them the campus, helps them with move-in day, then like we just said, that 80 to 90%, they're going to join your fraternity because everyone's hosting similar Rush events. They have similar schedules. Everyone's looking to give out bids. But if we can differentiate and be the first one to reach out, so how to do that over the summer is building our own pipeline could not be more crucial of a key to success when it comes to preparing throughout the summer for fall rush, but really summer rush as well. Is if you're able to create your own pipeline, don't rely on the sign-up sheet that the school has out there, because we're the ones that are out there recruiting. We're the professionals when it comes to bringing people in our organization. The larger we can grow that pipeline, the more energy and excitement and interest of Kappa Sigma on your campus versus, I really hope they come out to Rush and then we're going to do our best to close them. Build that pipeline early, and then it will start to create this momentum and exponential growth with, now all of a sudden all the prospects are talking about, are you going to the Kappa Sigma Rush event?
Right.
Yeah, I heard you were heading there the other day too. So it creates that excitement if we're the first ones to start prepping and reaching out to people and meeting them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you can build that pipeline, right? It depends on the size of school you're at, the size of your chapter, whatever it may be. At the big schools, it's a lot of high school pipelines. So working with some of the chapters in the Carolinas the last few years, so Chapel Hill, NC State, Wake Forest, they're pulling from high schools in Raleigh, in North Carolina, or in Charlotte, in Columbia, etc. And so they're building that pipeline like right now. Like Delta Omega at Wake Forest, shout out, is building their pipeline right now for the fall.
Nice.
And then as some of these small schools go, you have these rosters. I'm talking specifically to sports rosters here because that's my expertise with Omicron. Football's on campus in June. Like these freshmen are on campus very early. And so they see these group chats with the freshman players coming in. They see who's coming in for fall camp early, whatever it may be. And so everyone has their own way to create their pipeline, but what's most important is that you're starting now. There's too much success that I've seen over the fraternity the last few years from chapters that go from not starting in February or March for planning for fall rush that start planning right now, and they're just instantly successful. They have to be organized, there has to be a plan and everything, but just generally starting earlier is a huge advantage.
Yeah, to hook onto that, because I think you were alluding to it for a second, is everyone that is a freshman this year that just joined Kappa Sigma was a senior in high school last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so they may know people that are graduating as they're moving on to their sophomore year that may be coming to that campus and to their university that they can plug into that list and be another lead. And already a foot in the door. Mm-hmm. And what you said, Brother May, is that, and I love this, is that we can talk to these guys during rush when every other fraternity on campus is talking to them, or we can get to them early when no one's talking to them. And that's the most opportune time. Again, 80 to 90% of the potential new members that are talked to by the fraternity first, join that fraternity, is a really dynamic stat.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible.
Great first impression goes so long. Because I get on campus and it's like, oh, Walker talked to me over the summer. I guess I'm going to go hang out with him because I don't know anybody else yet. Or something similar to that. There's so many brothers that I've talked to that have that similar style story. Where it's like, yeah, Brother May was just the first one that reached out. He seemed like the comfortable guy to go hang out with, so I went. And bang, end of story.
Yeah, I love that.
At the end of the day, I think we're talking about, this comes back to a theme of like they have a plan and they're organized and they're organized ahead of time. I think right now is a perfect time. If it's March 5th or 6th or just whenever this comes out, if you don't have your recruitment chair in place, you got to have them in place because those people are going to be the one that drive that for your chapter. And so you've got to have those people in those positions know that they're defined leaders, know what they need to do in terms of that outreach on social media. And then I would just make a plug on all of our campuses. It makes no sense to not have representation as orientation leaders for Kappa Sigma. Like those are great opportunities where if you're at a private school or maybe things are slightly more restrictive, you're going to get a lot more access if you're those orientation leaders. Plus, it's great for your resume and it's going to be something that's going to be probably a value add to your college experience. And then just make sure you sign up for everything. Like we talk about move-in, but a lot of those move-in sign-ins are right now and the deadlines are like May. And so if you're like, oh, I have a great idea to do move-in, but then you don't sign up for it, then you can't do move-in. Now you miss out on that opportunity to be the first there and those things. So have a plan and make sure you sign up and are registered for everything well ahead of time so that all of those boxes are checked, and then you just have to have critical mass and show up. That comes down to good recruitment chairs, probably good Grand Master of Ceremonies, good Grand Master, having a plan ahead of time, because that's ultimately what great chapters do in terms of success, is they have that plan. They're never playing from behind. They're always one step ahead of their competition.
And keeping the competition on their heels.
Exactly.
Brother Leo Brown, Brother Noah Griffin, Brother Walker May. As we tie this podcast off, we're going to do it with a lightning round. So you got 60 seconds or less. We're going to start right here with Brother May. Your number one best CQ best bet, if you had to pass to just your average chapter, number one best bet on how to just maximize potential during Champion Quest, what would it be?
Build your prospect list as early as possible. Get it as big as possible. And then meet with every single person on that list personally, take them out for lunch, and then pass them off to the next brother. Because like we said, if you're the first person to reach out to them, 80 to 90%, I'm confident if you're the first 2 people to reach out to them and hang out with them, that number jumps up 90 to 100. So that's my best bet. Build it early, meet them early, and then let the rest come.
Love that. Yeah, echo that same thing, but also in the spring, use it as your testing ground for Fall Rush. You have pledges, you have new initiates that have never actually formally gone out and had to recruit somebody. So use it as your swing at bat, looking ahead to the fall, and then couple that with a great strategy and a great plan moving forward, and you'll be great. Because if you're getting swings at bat and even failing and getting no's this spring, that's going to better prepare your pledges and your new initiates for Fall Rush.
And I'll just pivot on all of them. Be different. So if everybody else is doing the same thing, do something different on your campus. Differentiation is always going to be another hallmark of success on a campus, because far too many chapters just do the exact same thing as their peers. Mm-hmm. If you differentiate yourself and do a different type of event, a different type of opportunity to connect with people, that's going to resonate with your prospects and with the guys you're recruiting, I think.
I love it. Lightning round 2.
Here we go.
I want you to go back to when you were asked the very first time, or when you understood in the moment that you were being rushed and you considered joining a fraternity, Kappa Sigma. Mm-hmm. What was the reason why?
Let me confirm, but in my mind, the reason why was because it was a large campus and they were the first ones I hung out with, and it made that campus seem a whole of a lot smaller than it was. And I had a group of, at that time, 130 guys that I could reach out to as friends. And when I saw that possibility and being a part of that, once I got more and more invested, then I realized all the other positives that came along with it. So that's it. They were the first ones to make a good friend with me and make campus seem a lot smaller.
Excellent.
I wanted to make the most of my college experience, and so I went to an interest group meeting for the fraternity. I joined an interest group, then a colony, and then a chapter, and I immediately noticed the bond in the room of the guys that were already a part of the group, and this was an interest group at the time. And there were guys from the baseball team, the football team, the soccer team, non-athletes, and it was amazing to me how well they got along. And I was like, I just want to be a part of that. And I didn't care about the letters at that point. I didn't care about the presentation that was given. My big takeaway from that one night, that Tuesday night in September of 2017, was that these guys really get along. And I just want to be a part of something like this other than just baseball on campus.
You could feel the brotherhood in the room.
I could feel it.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Stealing my story, because that's exactly what I mean. I remember 2004, but just watching these guys play volleyball, I'm thinking to myself, there's no reason they should all be friends. Like, they don't look the same. Like, they're all different shapes, colors, majors from different places. And it was just, I guess the kids would call it a vibe. Like, you could feel the brother. It was palpable. And you were just like, I got to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I need to learn more about it. And I think the coolest part about Kappa Sigma was then when I cracked the book and read the history, I was like, oh crap, this is not like just your normal like fraternity. They've got like a pretty cool history too. I'm a kind of a history nerd, so I kind of fell in love with that. So the people are always going to be the reason why you're successful. I think this is a relationship game, as we all know, and if you can have great people, that's the energy that's going to get people to join. But then if you have a great product, which I think Kappa Sigma just has an incredible history, an incredible product, it's a winning recipe. I think it's a big reason why we're the number one fraternity in the space.
Kappa Sigma is second to none, and this is the Second to None podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.